Hi, this is Nick from Pathway to Oz, and today we're going to talk about the skilled nominated or state-sponsored Subclass 190 visa. State-sponsored Subclass 190 visa requires you to be nominated by a state or territory government, and it actually allows you to live and work permanently in Australia. Recently, it has become increasingly popular for those looking to get PR who don't quite have enough points for the skilled independent 189 visa. The state nominated visa gives you an extra 5 points. So many clients may be able to apply for the 190, the permanent visa, with only 60 points on the points test, plus 5 points for state nomination. Like the skilled independent option, a state nominated visa allows you to include your family members on the visa and to receive all the benefits of being a permanent resident in Australia, including the ability to remain in Australia indefinitely, access to public health care, your children can attend public school, and then as well as a pathway to citizenship. The only difference between the state nominated and skilled independent visa is that you must commit to living and working in the state that nominates you for at least 2 years. The visa holder will need to be nominated in a profession that is on the state occupation list. So a state occupation is different from a medium to long-term or short-term skilled occupation list, and it varies depending on the individual states. So each state will put out their own list, and often the occupations on the state list are different from that on the medium to long-term list. So the 190 visa may be the only option for those looking for PR whose job is not on the medium to long-term list. If there is a skilled shortage of individuals to work in that particular state in a profession, the state or territory government may choose to nominate a visa holder to fill the role. It could be useful, or actually it will be useful, to review the individual states or territories' websites to see which professions and what jobs are on that state occupation list. Often individual states have different requirements, some for onshore, different requirements, some for offshore. Quite often they'll even have different requirements for individual occupations. Common requirements for onshore occupations include potentially having to work in that occupation for 6 months in Australia. Sometimes you'll also need to show finances. It varies between states, the different requirements. Below in the video description, you'll find links to the different sort of state and territory websites, so you can check out the different skilled occupation lists for those individual states. All right, so let's talk about the different steps required for the state nominated or skilled nominated visa. Like any permanent visa or permanent general skilled migration visa, you'll need to have a full skills assessment. Once you've got a full skills assessment, you will then need to check your eligibility with the individual skilled migration programs for the different states and territories. You'll also want to ensure that through the points test, you've got the required minimum points of 60 points to submit what's called an expression of interest. So submitting an expression of interest is then the next step, and you submit an expression of interest or EOI through the immigration website. Now, once you have submitted an EOI, you would then might need to apply for state nomination. So different states and territories have different application processes. So once you've submitted the EOI, on the actual expression of interest, you'll need to indicate which state you would like to be sponsored by. Some states, such as Queensland or New South Wales, don't actually accept applications before. They'll look at your EOI, and if they like, what they see, they'll give you an invitation to apply for state nomination. Other states, however, will require you to submit an actual state nominated application before being contacted by the state. So once again, look at the individual requirements for the states. Once you have submitted an EOI, you can be invited by the state to apply for the visa. You can generally expect to wait about 2 to 4 weeks or 2 to 6 weeks to receive an invitation from the state. This can vary depending on how many applications the state has received, how many points you have. There's numerous different factors which come into it. Once you receive the invitation from the state, you will generally be given 14 days to provide them with the relevant documentation. As mentioned, each state has different requirements, and each state requires different documents for the application. For example, for a Queensland onshore state-nominated application, you will need to show the state-nominated application forms, a skills assessment, 2 recent pay slips, a written commitment statement, evidence of ongoing employment offer, a bank statement, and utilities or lease agreement demonstrating you live in the state. Once you have submitted all the documentation to the state will then review it, and then you will receive an invitation to apply for the permanent visa through immigration, through the Department of Home Affairs website. Once you receive that invitation to apply for the visa, you will have 60 days to lodge the application. Please note, without an invitation to apply, you are not eligible to lodge the visa. As you can sort of understand from this video, it is quite a reasonably sort of complex process with lots of different steps. However, if you have any questions about, state nominated visas, general skilled migration, anything really, feel free to contact a registered migration agent at Pathway to Oz. Thank you.